Okay, boys, here we are, day 2 in Dover. How are we feeling?
Feel really good today. Feel fantastic. Learned a lot. Learned a lot about the conditions and don't fight the tide.
Don't what? Sorry.
Don't fight the tide.
Fight the tide. Well, before we go through the start of the day, Andy and Paul Downey, could you tell us what dinner was on? What was on the dinner menu tonight, please?
Speckle.
Yeah, beautifully cooked pasta with a little bit of steak bottom and stuff.
Yeah, beautifully cooked pasta. Yeah, but better cooked bowl.
And I'm really intrigued. You know, have we betted Andrew's dessert from last night? What have we got here?
Strawberries.
Oh, healthy.
80p ice cream.
Yes. Full cream.
80p full cream.
It's actually 90.
Tesco's.
Oh, 90.
That's
90p.
Very good value.
Okay. Oh, 90p.
Less than $1.50 for that whole thing.
Yes, you have to tell everybody how much money did we spend last night at Tesco? On
It was $50 each.
$50 each
for like a huge amount of food.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And we got the full cream milk custard there, Andrew. The custard of your choice.
Yeah, we got. I got the light stuff. You end up with the full cream stuff.
That's a full cream one. And I'm not even eating it, yeah. And okay, so enjoy and let's go through today. Coach Paul Newsom, you had this brainwave about swimming at Margate, I believe, the 3.8k marathon swim.
One of the
routine Ironman swim.
well, one of the girls who's attended one of our courses last year in the UK dropped us over an email saying that there's this big race on. I thought, oh, it's perfect. We're coming straight over from Australia. Get straight into a little race and get warmed up for the big channel swim. There's a 3.8k swim down in Margate in a place called Joss Bay, and we just thought it was going to be a fairly routine sort of swim. It's a 3-lap course, and they're a little bit late getting started. And the reason they're a little bit late getting started is because the boys were quite hard to put out, and that should be our first. It should have been our first indication of what the day was going to be like. So there was about 70 people on the start list, but we obviously. People entered on the morning as well, so probably just over 100 people actually started. And I think a total of 3 or 4 people actually finished
we think 2 people finished legitimately.
2 people maybe finished.
And maybe another 3 took a bit of a short.
Andrew and I.
Yes, Paul Downey, you're out there the longest. Were you just enjoying your time at sea today?
I did enjoy my time at sea. In fact, I enjoyed my time at sea more than any other person in the whole race. I was the last person to be rescued. And
2 hours.
Over 100 people rescued.
2 hours, yes.
Yeah, let's go.
For a 3.8k, was it?
Yeah,
For a 3.8k swim, I managed 7.02k. So I drifted a fair amount before I got saved. But alas, I was the only one wearing my budgie smugglers. So I think, I was felt it at the end. But no, great lesson in how the tide can get you. We've got 98 of them, left 1 of them, standing on the beach on his own. At the end.
And Coach Paul, what were you thinking at that time when we saw them?
Well, I came in. And
just kind of sailing off down the coast, swimming down the coast, floating, literally.
I came in 55 minutes, and I was initially very disappointed with my time, so I figured, well, I should be under 50 minutes for that sort of distance. And but then we're still on the beach, and not only was there no one else coming in, but there was actually no one on the course. Everyone was like 2 kilometres off the course. It was a strange scenario, and getting washed out further to sea. And of course I thought, oh my God, it was me who initially suggested that we go down and do this race, and yet we've lost both Andrew, Paul, and Adam, business partner Adam Young, out to sea, and we thought we're never going to get him back, unfortunately. And
Adam toe tapping Young.
Yeah, Adam toe tapping Young. Yeah.
Well, AKA Wayne.
Adam's longest swim to this point was 2.5 k's in the pool, in the safety of the pool, and he was out there for nearly 2 hours this morning. And he was all right. He was in good spirits when he got back in, though. I was glad about that. And it was amazing to just watch people swimming forwards, but actually getting pushed back way quicker than they were actually swimming forward. So a big lesson for when we swim the channel.
That's right.
Just how much it can
now,
move you.
Now, Andrew, what did you get up this morning? You say, look, I want to do a biathlon today. Could you please explain?
He's already done a 10k run before we went down to the start of the swim.
But sorry, you wanted a new triathlon. It was called Run Swim Run.
So I went for a little jog this morning to where they start the swimming at Sandfly Ho, and then I came back and we went off to the swim. And things were going quite well. I was exceeding my... I was in the top 10, I'd say.
Yeah.
I was probably
Right up there.
right up there, 6th or 7th or something like that. And then I'd done 2.5 laps, and all of a sudden the boys stopped getting closer. And I spent about 30 minutes, 50 metres from the last upstream buoy, just in a continuous pull, getting nowhere. And eventually I could see that I wasn't going to get anywhere. And by that stage I drifted back to the previous buoy.
It was the most incredible current.
So at that point I gave up and started swimming for some white cliffs that look a bit like the cliffs at Dover. And ended up about a kilometre down the coast. I landed on the beach. And then so I jogged back.
But tell the joke about the guy that asked you, do you do running much?
There was 3 of us jogging back, and we were sort of, this guy said, he could see that I was running okay, and most swimmers can't run at all. And so he started chatting to me. He said, do you do a bit of triathlon? I said, yeah, I've done a couple of them. And he said, yeah, I do a bit too. And we sort of chatted a bit. And I sort of slowed down to chat to these guys. And then and there was another guy who was just a swimmer, and he said, this is my first triathlon. He joked about stealing a bike and doing the third leg. And we got back, we got to the steps down to the beach, and I was just sort of jogging along chatting, and the triathlon guy bolted for the official tent. He wanted to get his timer chip in before me.
Even though you'd been
He was
disqualified.
disqualified. His competitive urge took over, and he had to beat me.
He was like Wayne number 2. English Wayne.
Yes. And Paul, at the start of the day, we were standing there having a little chat, and we said, what was the purpose of today before we started?
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean,
So-
the purpose was just to have a bit of a hit out. But then when we lost you guys at sea, me and Shelley were still on the beach for well over an hour, waiting for everyone, like maybe an hour and a half even, waiting for everyone to come in. Think, oh my God, we've lost them all. We're going to have to call Daddy up and say...
Sorry.
Say sorry, I'm really sorry.
Sorry, I talked him into it.
Yeah.
I
She's
didn't.
still waiting for that apology.
Yeah, he did really well in the channel, but I lost him at sea.
Yeah.
His swimming was looking straight. Stroke was terrific. And he was flying past.
So,
We had a great day.
Well, it was a really, I think it was a good training ground for the last couple of Ks on our channel swim.
Definitely,
There were these strong currents and faster than the 3K, 4K, 5K, 6K. You can't swim into.
It's good exercise in frustration, I think.
Yeah.
More than anything
Yeah.
else. Like when you realise that you're not going anywhere, not to, because it's a futile exercise to try and fight it.
Yeah.
So luckily for me personally, because I was a little bit further in front, I got there to the
Just
turn
a little.
before the
You were really close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, they
before
started the
the-
race 10 minutes late. If they started on time, I would have made
You'd
it.
have made it, yeah.
And
Yeah,
Paul
they've taken
Downey,
half
how
the
would you have gone?
If they had have started the bit 10 minutes later, I just would have had another 10 minutes to be saved. It would have...
The irony was when we started, they said this is where the tide's going to be coming from, and we were stood there with the guy who swam the English Channel in 1961. He was
Yes.
shaking his head, saying they've got this wrong. They've got it totally wrong. The tide's going to turn and go in the other direction, because they said it's going to be hard at the start, but the longer you're out there, the easier it's going to get. So he was sort of almost saying that the faster swimmers are going to have the harder time because they're going to be affected most by tides, and then they'll go into the slack water, so that the slower swimmers won't have much work to do. And how wrong could he?
They got so wrong.
Completely wrong. Yeah.
Well, this guy, he's called Mick Jenkins.
Yeah.
And he's been swimming for, well, obviously more than 50 years, because he swam the channel about 50 years ago. And he's swum continuously. I was talking to his wife. It's an obsession. He swims 20, 30 races a year, all over the world. And in that whole time, this is the second race he did not finish. The other one was in the finished.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got to take that one now.
Really?
In 50 years and
Really?
probably 1,000 races.
I mean, if you look at
he's not finished twice. So this is obviously quite a rare.
Yeah.
It must be less than 5% of the field. A lot less.
There.
Probably more like 3% of the field actually finished.
Yeah.
There. I've never done it. I mean, even Rottnest when it was a bad year, it was 40% finish sort of thing, and 60% failed to get through. But it was just incredible looking back at the course and then seeing no one actually on the course and everyone way off.
Yeah, it was just I couldn't believe how far it took for us to get back.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Paul's GPS trace, there's the bay that we were swimming in, Joss Bay. Then there was another one around the corner which we could sort of just about see into from the beach. But then on your GPS trace, you're actually on the next bay around as well. Like, so.
And the land sort of disappeared.
Yeah.
If you'd missed that last bay, you'd be 5 k's out to sea.
You're on your way to Belgium, I believe.
Say again, sorry?
Belgium?
Belgium or Holland, or actually on the way over to Norway, wasn't it?
The Thames Barrier.
Thames
I'd actually
Barrier.
might get sucked up the Thames.
I'd actually left something at Harrods I wanted to get for Daddy.
You got to swim from the barrier up to
No,
London
I'll
Bridge.
bugger it, I'll swim for it.
Well, on that note, boys, it's bedtime. So
Good
you
on
want to
you.
say good night to everybody?
Nice.
Alright, see ya.
Ciao.